Good day, Chelaroo. How we doing? Apologies for the dead silence. I completely forgot that I turned the music off. So that will be on me, that slight error of confusion. And you could say stupidness as well. Good old Flynn. Off to a very, very good start. But yeah, how is everybody doing in the chat today? Hope we're doing absolutely fan-flippin-tastic, and I hope Tier 1 is ready for some action down at Austria for round number 5. How are we all feeling about it today? Are we feeling confident? Are we feeling slightly worried? What's going on? Hello Bam, hello Lights and Twister, you're not wrong. Always tired, indeed, indeed. But yeah, who do we think is going to win this evening? Feel free to put your predictions down below in the chat. And while that is debating and going on, if I have a look at UFRL and head on over to their results, we can have a chat about how Tier 1 has been getting on. I'm saying he's going to win, obviously. Okay. We'll see. Oh yeah, there normally is. There's nothing I can do about that. There normally is when that happens. I don't know how to describe it. It's normally like you're hearing the compression when it turns down. But I have it on like that because if you want me to go back to my normal sounding voice of the microphone, then it would sound terrible. It would sound a lot better with you know, how do I say it? With like music and stuff in the background, but since there's, you know, just dead silence at the moment, yeah, there's not much we can really do. We're just playing the patient game. But yeah, you're probably hearing like a tiny little, how do I put it? Maybe a hushing noise? Or like, not muffled, but a tiny bit of static, I'd say. Which mic is it, you're asking, Yoshi? It is the, I think it's a Shure MV7. I have a Go XLR plugged into the back of a mixer. So yeah, high-tech stuff, you could say. High-tech stuff. But I do apologize for the sound if it is irritating, but it shouldn't be that bad. Like I say, if we had music in the background, then it'd be okay, but that's the way things stand at the moment. It doesn't look like it'll be going away, so I do apologize once again. Oh, very nice. Not bad, Yoshi. Not bad, buddy. Not bad. But yes, whilst I'm waiting for the lobby to crack on, and I believe that's Mr. Poe getting everyone to ready up in the lobby, we could turn our eyes to round number 3. Of course, it hasn't been updated to round number 4 or round number 5 results yet, so hopefully they will be updated shortly. But yes, round number 3 was a very interesting race, and Math still leads the way in P1 in that Mercedes, and then Hazer in at P2, and then obviously Mano in at P3 still. But obviously round number 4 at Las Vegas threw a lot of curveballs and a lot of surprises, so we're going to see what kind of treatment we get today. Of course, our last race winner from race number 4 at Belgium was Maths, so could we see another win, as I believe that was back-to-back wins as well. And it was. Oh, no, it wasn't. Hazer took the win, sorry. So could we see Math get a double whammy? I have to find out as it going into qualifying. Let's see what happens, shall we? And get rid of this hissing noise, shall we? Oh, I do use voice with banana. I have two. So I have a you know, an IRL mixer right in front of my face. And then I also have voice meter on the go. That's why what you're hearing right now is being used from the mixer, but implemented from voice meter. It's really confusing because most people say, why do you do it like that? It's mainly because due to my radio of what I need it for, that could describe why it has to be set up like that, if you know what I mean. Otherwise, if say I'm streaming on my channel and I'm doing radio, then I need to make sure that it's decent enough and I can mute myself so no one can hear me on the air. And I also have got my heater on in the background, which could be causing some tiny disruption. Hopefully not much, but it's a bit cold in my room as well, so I need a bit of heat. Otherwise, Flynn here in the corner could freeze to death, which we don't want, you know, which we don't want. Hello, Mr. Woody. How we doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I see you lurking there. Popping a lovely Discord link in the chat. We love to see it. But right now, all 19 drivers on the grid. I believe we are missing one driver tonight. It would be the Haas, teammates with Declan. Unfortunately, they cannot make it today, so Dec has got a lot of work on his shoulders today. But speak of the devil, here come the cars, and leading the two Mercedes and the Red Bull so far is going to be the Williams, I believe. I want to say a Bad Boy, and it is Bad Boy, out on track, leading the front of the pack, but I'm going to guess Mr. P and the Mercedes are going to overtake straight away and make it a 1-2 for the two Mercs leading down to turn number 3. We could have a quick chat about turn numbers. So we've got a total of 10 corners, 3 lovely DRS zones. Of course, your first DRS detection zone is going to be at the exit of turn number 10, obviously down to turn 1. Then your second dose of the DRS is on the exit of turn 1 up to turn 3, and then your third DRS is exit of turn 3 down to turn 4 and 5, etc. So Austria is one of those circuits where you can overtake down to turn 1, down to turn 3, or down to turn 4 and 5. Just depends how confident you are with the car yourself, and how confident you are with drivers on track as well. Of course, a very tight, narrow circuit, as you see Bad Boy going a little bit wide there at I believe that was turn number 7. So yeah, lots of work to be done, but let's go on board with the Mercs. And leading Mr. P out of turn number 1 is going to be his teammate of Math. And I believe Math is giving his teammate a bit of a hefty tow right now. So both Mercedes, once again, in qualifying, demonstrating a very good teamwork. A bit of a lock-up there from the Mercedes, leading the pack up to turn number 3. But Mr. P all the way down now to turn number 4 and 5. His second dose of the DRS on this lap, and getting very close to track limits. You want to go a little bit wide and then try and throw the car into turn number 5. But now we head towards turn number 6 and turn number 7. Double left-hander, where you've got to make sure the car does stick to the ground. And Mr. P showing there how much you have to make sure you trust the car and confidence, as there was a McLaren slightly in the way, but did get out of the way in time. That was King OG obliging, giving way to the two Mercs. It's about to cross the line here right now at Austria. What's it going to be for Mr. P? It's going to be a 104.469 and Math a 103.752. So even with a hope of, a hopefulness of a tow, Mr. P still lacking a bit of pace on circuit, as a Filthy Ghost goes to the leaderboards. A P3 a 1 minute 05.403, Declan a 103.901. So very good up there from Declan. And I'm not too sure. He might be getting a tow right there. So getting the tow to when he needs it. As Pesh goes to third at 1 minute 4.043. And Hazer across the line at 1 minute 5.592. So some drivers not having great laps here at this moment in time, which obviously isn't ideal. But they've still got time. They've got 14 minutes to get a decent lap time in before we get 36 laps around this lovely, gorgeous circuit. So we'll see what they can do. And we're going to make our way now down to, let's go down to P10. I don't remember how these buttons work again because I've not done commentating for a few days. As Kinyo G at 1 minute 5.806. So yeah, lap times not looking strong here. A little bit surprised if I'm going to be honest, but could they be running higher wings? Potential rain in the race, maybe, I'm unaware of, but as I'm at this moment in time, I'm very surprised with the way the pace is. But Bad Boy, Lights and Fake, all three drivers retiring from this session could be due to engine penalties. Of course, this season, as always, we do introduce engine penalties. You have to take, I believe, 3 engines within a 15 race calendar. So drivers, you know, like Bad Boy, Light and Fake, thinking, you know what, Austria could be a good time to take an early engine penalty. So we'll see how that gets on. Iceman down in P19 at the moment. We could go on board with himself and the Aston Martin. And I was going to say, they were having a decent lap, but they do look a little bit laggy. And that could be them returning to the pit lane as their rear light is flashing. So, harvesting that battery, which isn't great, but he could be prepping for another lap maybe, but we'll just see how that gets on. And we're just waiting on a few more drivers. We could go on board though with Angry Badger, who has gone purple apparently in Sector 1. Heading towards turns number 4 and 5 now. Second dose of the DRS in that Scarl Ferrari. And like I say there, look at that absolutely lovely corner entrance. You've got to throw the car literally into turn number 4 and 5. Now to head to turn number 6 and 7, the double left-handers, where like I said over Mr. P, you just got to throw the car in and hope for the best. And apparently fastest than any other driver in Sector 2. Now that could be the game lying, because you know how the game works here, but we'll see how does he get on towards the end of this lap. And I say it was purple, you see, it said it was purple, but it was a 1 minute 5.790. so there you go, really. It just goes to show on track that going purple doesn't mean you could potentially be the quickest driver. Right, on board a Hazer. I believe they're starting their second push lap here at Austria. So down into turn number 1. You want to take as much of the sausage curb on the inside as much as you can, but try and not unsettle the car. Your first dose of the DRS, or actually no, second dose, sorry, of the DRS as you make your way down to turn number 3. And apparently they're already a 10th up, and that does look like a better Sector 1. Saying it's purple, but far off the pace. That's all I'm going to say. So they've got to find a mighty Sector 2 and a Sector 3. Into 4 and 5 now. Car still on track and still in the limits, so pretty good lap time so far. Not running wide whatsoever through 6 and 7. Keep it nice and tidy. 2 tenths up on their lap time right now, so they're probably sitting at a benchmark of on the cusp of a P3, but potentially a P4 improvement here, but still not finding the time to be close enough to maybe the top 2. But we'll see as they cross the line now. And it's a 1 minute 4.761, and they miss out by 52 thousandths of a second of improvement. So unfortunately, they lost all their time down in Sector 3. You know, they found a 10th in Sector 1, 2 tenths in Sector 2, and they lost it all in Sector 3. So very interesting there. So Hazer not having the best of laps, shall we say, but Koff running back into the pit lane, currently chilling in at P7 as Iceman. Are they starting a second push lap here? Down into turn 1, looking still a little bit laggy, so drivers may struggle to get past Iceman this evening, but we'll see how the race perseveres and goes on. Up to turn number 3 now. Hitting the apex perfectly there, but it's very hard to try and keep on board with Iceman here with how much they're, you know, jittering all over circuit. So we'll try and see if they are, you know, on improvement, as we've got yellow flags of, I believe that was one of the Mercs slowing down to let the very laggy Aston Martin by. But let's see here. 6 and 7. And, I'm not reading any sector times, and that was completely off track, and that is an invalidation, unfortunately. So Iceman will probably be running back into the pits, but chilling in P5, and you'll see he's going straight into the pit lane as we are talking at this moment in time. Right then, holy moly, let's get off board with that very laggy Aston Martin and go on board with Pooch. A lovely driver here in the Alpine team, and Purple in Sector 1. A very quick driver as well, showing a lot of fortune, shall I say, to the Alpine team. So let's see how they can get on for round number 5 at Austria today. Into turn 4 and 5. Same as every other car as well. Turns in nice and early. Gets the car where it needs to be. 6 and 7 now. Double left-handers here at Austria. Trust the car. Feel the car. Be one with the car, as they say. And exit turn 8 down to turn 9s and 10s. I like to say the double right-handers, which can be a little bit tricky. If you get it all wrong, you could slightly invalidate and trying to cut too much of the apex, and yeah, try not to go wide there at the exit at turn 10, and they go P4. A 1 minute 4.410. So the way Pooch is going, with a very good lap time like that on the board, could challenge for a P3. And if they have a very good lap time, could challenge for a lovely P2. Right then, EOG on a push lap here. Currently in P11. Way off the pace. 2 tenths up now. I believe that was in Sector 2. Sector 3, can they find a lot more time and trust the car in to 9 and 10? Flashing on that rear wing of that McLaren. They cross the line. It's a 2/10 improvement, but still staying P11. So Kingy will not be happy with that whatsoever. The Ferrari, I believe, is recharging, as they're not on a particular push lap at this moment in time. Declan, he's on a invalidation, but I believe hopefully recharging the battery to go for one more final big push. We've got aboard a Jack actually, because they have started their lap. Purple in Sector 1, but we don't really know what their benchmark is going to be, so only time will tell as they make their way into Sector 3 very shortly. Still vibing obviously in Sector 2, but we're going to get to the double left-handers of 6 and 7, and then we'll make our way to Sector 3 in 3, 2, 1. Boom, there it is, a 44.872. I don't think that's a bad Sector 2 time, but let's see how their Sector 3 is. Of course, turn number 9 isn't a hard corner, but turn number 10 is a very tricky corner, because you've got to hit the apex there, and you see his back end almost losing that rear end, and that could have been a very costly invalidation. P6, a 1 minute 04.593. So very good improvements here, as he's invalidated at turn number 1. I'm not too sure where he went off circuit there, but somewhere the game did not like, obviously. And yeah, there you go. Only driver yet to set a lap time who hasn't retired from the session is Viva, down in P19 on a outlap, but has returned into the pits. Right then, P7 is on a cool down lap. Rusted bolts, they are, I'm unsure. I'm going to say they're on a cool down, because there's no way you're going to get a decent Sector 2 time here. So fair enough, they are on a cool down, but they have got a bit of a full tank of battery, as I like to say. So maybe they could be going for a second attempt, but we'll see as we ride on board with the Visa Cash App Red Bull. And I do believe as well that I think they are rebranding in 2025. So that was a very scary entry. But yeah, I think they're rebranding in 2025, but I could be wrong. Angry Badger, what are they going to do? Are they coming back into the pit lane as well? Down in P14. And they are going to start a lap here. Let's go on board with Angry Badger and keep our eyes peeled on the Aston Martin up front. So let's go on board with the Ferrari, actually, and see how they take turn one. So breaking at the 50-meter board, throw the car in as much as you can, but got a very, very bad exit, so they might have lost a tenth or two there, but they're going to try and hopefully retrieve all that time gain as they make their way down into turn number 3, late on the brakes. Breakout, I believe that's a 50-meter board, and has ghosted there, so I'm unsure once again, because it didn't look like they had a crazy exit, but determines what the game feels like is bad and what is good, etc. But we'll see now as the Ferrari, have they found pace in sector 2? They have a tenth of improvement, as they were 83 thousandths of a second down in sector 1. So they found a tenth, which is good, but can they find more than a tenth, as the Aston Martin up ahead are cut off in P11, may be able to proceed up that grid order just a little bit more. Let's see what happens here. And they go to P6. It's not bad there, as there is an improvement from the Ferrari, but does still stay down in P at number 14. So, oh! Wow, okay. Wow. Keeping it out of the barriers there at turn number 1. Very good car control. That could have been Angry Badgers qualifying and done and dusted very early. Now, 2 minutes and 35 seconds remain in this official qualifying session, and we do have a few drivers on potential outlaps to improve. And Hazer in P10 invalidated, but probably, you know, meant to be, and we'll see their full potential, shall we say, next lap onwards. Right then, Rusted Bolt has already invalidated at turn number 1, so that'll be them backing off on their push lap, you could say. Wow. Lots of mistakes I am seeing. And what a pooch then. 80 thousandths of a second up right now. So, having a decent sector 1. Not close enough though for that P3. A potential P2. But they've got to find some mega time down in turn number 4 and 5. And 6 and onwards. They've got to have a really good sector 2. Middle part of the track is where you want to be finding a lot of the time. But has got I believe that is a Visa Cash App right ahead of them, a tenth up on their time right now, so they're closing in on Pesh ever so slightly. But a big factor here is, will it be enough? They've got to find a lot of time in sector 3, final corner at turn 10, try not to invalidate, and they've done it to perfection. Now run down, shootout to the line, and it's P4, a 1 minute 4.080. Wow, that is mega close, and that could be Pooch's qualifying done and dusted. We've got more drivers crossing the line now. Viva starting, or not starting their lap time yet, I don't believe. That is Ghost, teammate of Viva, starting his final push-up down in P13. More drivers crossing the line now. We've got the Haas, I believe, starting a push lap. Hazer, coming towards an end of their lap time, currently in P10, 4 tenths up right now. We're seeing drivers improve on the circuit by a substantial amount here. Track temperature and track, you know, revampation could be happening in the works. Both Mercedes down in the bottom left corner, bottom right corner, sorry, working together. It's P4 for Hazer. Pooch dropped down to P5. It's a 1 minute 4.058. So close between third, fourth, fifth. Absolutely in flip insane. But is anybody else going to find more time on circuit? Rusted Bolt crosses the line, and I believe that is them done and dusted, and it's P number 8 for them. Qualifying flag is waved, flag is dropped, shall we say, as Filthy Ghost is crossing the line. They're P12 on the starting grid. Aston Martin, I believe that's going to be Iceman crossing the line. It is, and they go P6. A wonderful lap time from themselves there. Haas is bailed and back into the pit lane, starting P2 if nobody else can beat them. And Jack only at P7. Both Mercedes, though, working together. And is Mr. P going to slap it up anywhere near the top 5? And he does. He's third. Takes Pesh down to P4. Pesh could still take it back, you know, for that P3. Crosses the line. And it is P3 for the Williams. And it's going to be P4 for Mr. P. Hazer, though, not finding lap time, going very, very slowly. And it's P5 for Hazer. And once he gets back into the pit lane, that is qualifying done and dusted. But look at that, chat. P3, P4, P5, and P6. The margins. Look how close that is. That was the battle for P3. Just for P3. But Declan, he'll be happy with that lap time, you know. At 1 minute 3.901. And Math having a first and second push lap, but 1 minute 3.752. That is going to be an incredible lap time. And I'm sure I'll be very happy with that one. But there we go. Pole position for Math. And then Declan in P2. Pesh in P3. Mr. P in P4. Hazer P5. Pooch P6. P7 Iceman. P8 Merc. P9 Jack. And P10 Koff. That's the top 10 rounded up. And look at the margin from 3rd down to 6th. That is absolutely flipping insane, chat. And then you got Rusted Bolt, Filthy Ghost, Kitty OG, Bam, Angry Badger, Viva, Bad Boy, Lights and Fake, all retiring from the session, taking engine penalties. And that is your qualifying done and dusted. I believe we now have a 5-minute break until we get underway here. And I am seeing cloudy, misty skies. So is there potential threat of rain happening tonight in this race? I'll tell you what, Pooch, it is absolutely mad close at the front. I can't stress how crazy that is. That's absolutely insane. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you think you got the pace for P3, you slap it on, and then you get bumped down. And then you get bumped down again, like Mr. P saw. Mr. P slapped it in P3, thought, yes, I got, you know, a P3, a very good starting position here at Austria. And then out of nowhere, don't know what it was, but the Williams of Pesh, out of nowhere, incredible uptime, smash, done, my P3. Mass fell off, clearly. Hey, who knows, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they did. But like I say, only time will tell. If you have any lovely predictions for this evening, feel free to let me know. And of course, we will go through them. And see who could be, you know, taking the win here this evening. So, like, who are we actually going for, chat? I mean, Lights, you've got a hell of a race today, I must say. And I will be honest, I am surprised because you have picked a bizarre track, shall I say. Take an engine pen, I believe. If it's an engine pen you've taken, but very bizarre to take it here if you are. I reckon a good top 10 Lights from you if you're starting down in P18. Just make sure you're all careful into turn 1, you know, we don't want anything crazy happening, shall we say. You know, we want to keep it nice and clean. You know, no silly mistakes, please. You know, let's play it smart, chat. Play it smart, and we'll be okay. But while we are waiting, we could have a look at the calendar. There we go. Hello, calendar. We have surely missed you. And we can obviously tick off round 4. Belgium was a spicy, crazy race with a joyfulness of safety cars. So Austria could be the same this evening. We'll see how it gets on. But not even halfway through the season yet. Absolutely crazy. And Austria today is the track we were racing. And then we could tick it off later. And then round number 6 is Canada. Interesting circuit if you tell me. Racing at Canada. So that'll be entertaining for next week. And then we've got Kota for round 7. Not too shabby, not too bad either. But one track that does surprise me is round number 8. China. China is one of those circuits where tyre wear is absolutely insane. But the strategy at China is huge. When I say huge, I mean humongous. Like, if you get the strategy perfect and you're on the right tyres at the right time, you are gaining a ton of positions, and I mean a ton of positions. But it is 8:32 in the UK, so let's get back to the main screen of the main event and wait for those 5 red lights to happen any moment in time. Just takes one person to ready up to let us know it's good to go. And here we go then. It's going to be 5 red lights here for round number 5 here at Austria for tier number 1. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a very good start for the Haas and the Merc. Into turn number 1. The Haas makes slide to P2. But look at the Williams around the outside. And off track they go. But Pesh will potentially take P2 and... Declan already under humongous pressure from Mr. P, who's trying to gain on that P3 spot now. Declan defending that inside-outside line, whichever way he wants to go on the hard compounded tyre. A very good start, though, by the Mercedes in P1. And P2 Pesh and that Haas is just struggling to find pace at the moment, but like I said, is on the hard compounded tyre, going wheel to wheel with the Mercedes and Mr. P, who does back off actually into turn number 4 and 5, and someone has already retired from the session as Iceman out of the session. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'm guessing he's retired for a reason? Potentially for lag, but they're gone. They are out of this race. And the gap from P1 to P2 is already 1.1 of a second. So Math is not messing around here on these medium compounded tyres. Look at the back of the grid. Getting absolutely spicy wheel-to-wheel action with Bad Boy and Kingy right now into turn number 1. Bad Boy now up into P10. Kingy demoted down to P11, but could be demoted another position very, very shortly as that kicks Sauber. He's looking very, very quick on the medium compounded tyre, looking into turn 3. Oh, the McLaren way later on the brakes than his teammate of King OG, and swoops around the outside. A lovely move done and dusted there, and fake up into P11, and King OG is just falling and falling down the grid order, and is falling down to P number 13, late on the brakes for Filthy Ghost, and yeah, down to P13 they go, and someone is actually off Drake. That's Koff down in P16, P17, and might even be P number 18 now. They went off at turn number 5. Definitely not ideal, definitely not optimal. Their tyres are going to be a little bit grainy for a lap or two, so hopefully they can get back up to temperature and back up to pace very, very shortly. But that was a hell of a crazy lap number 1 and a lap number 2. Let's see now if the rest of the grid starts to chill out, as bam, because a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings already, and they're down in P number 18. Not a very good start for the Alpine driver, so he won't be happy with that one at all. Gaps, though, already starting to break out and break ahead as we see the Vija, Cash App, Red Bull looking for a move, and he is late on the brakes. Lunge on the hard compounded tyre into turn 3. A little bit of bodgy contact there between the McLaren and the Vija. And yeah, now up into P12. Very good stuff there by Lights. Trying to make the move on the McLaren for P12, who's on the medium compounded tyre, and does get that move done. Dustin, but Ferrari also looking for the move in Merc. Now up into P13, and King OG. What is happening, man? He is falling down the grid order lap by lap. Not having a very good first ever laps here at Austria, but Lights making some good ground and good work on that hard combat tyre, and the gap from him to P11 is 0.7 of a second, so it's not like he's a million miles away. But what is worrying and concerning is that Filthy Ghost is 1.7 away from P10, and that little big DRS train which is starting to slip away and starting to pull away. So maybe Filthy Ghost has got to try and work with you know, Lights here, but we'll see what they can do as this race goes on. But out of the way it stands, it looks like this train could break away. It's gone on board a bad boy now in that Williams. Are they going to try and make a move? Nowhere near. So they will not make a move at this moment of time. They're just chilling and debating on what they need to do. Declan on the hards. Other drivers on the hards. And wow, okay. Only 3 drivers on the hard compounded tyre. So Declan defending that P5 at the start as well, and staying with the pack on the mediums, is actually doing himself a favour and a very good strategy right now, because it goes to show that it looks like the medium tyre doesn't matter because they ain't pulling away from the hards. As Declan gets a move up into turn 1, up into P3 now. So the house is really starting to cook here, because a very squiggly exit out of turn 1. I think he just clipped the sausage curb there. And Declan and Pooch now going wheel to wheel here. Mr. P may try and follow through on the house and takes a wider line. Mr. P not getting the grip or traction. Could now be under pressure from Hazer behind, challenging for that P number 5, but is just nowhere near. And now we've got Pooch and the Williams of Pesh now going side by side. This is really going to be in the favour of the Haas right now, because if these two come together, goes on through the Haas, you could say, up into P3, maybe P2. If third and second make collision contact, which would be likely possible with the way they're racing, but Math in a different league, in a different level, they are gone. 2.6 up the road. They are just disappeared. They are non-existent, as they say. But it's all getting spicy. From P3, or sorry, say P2, down to P10, because they are really starting to pull away from the cars behind. 3.8 is now the difference between gap-wise, and Bad Boy can actually get position done on the Red Bull for P7, and he does. Wheel to wheel, both on the mediums. Lights a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings, not what we want to see early on in this race. Around the outside goes the Red Bull of Jack. Can he defend this position from the Williams? Yes, he can. And the Williams have to, you know, debate on where they want to go next to try and get past this very, you know, grippy and fast-pacing Red Bull, who is probably frustrating the Williams, as the Williams is going to look up the inside now at turn 6 and still can't get the upper hand of a move done there. But look how close he is to that rear wing. Surely there'll be a move cooking and brewing in the background. And let's see then. As nothing happening just yet, but we do see Declan pulling out to the right-hand side, going into that P3 spot for now. Down into turn 1, gets a better exit, and could actually make a position now up into P2 if they want to go for that cheeky move, and they do. Draining the battery, into P2 goes the Haas. Very good stuff there. Almost loses the car off the front end locking, but manages to get the car under control and keep it stable. And Pooch having a horrible exit actually, and dropping potentially behind Mr. P, and it looks like he will drop behind Mr. P, and Pooch will be kicking himself in the foot with that one. Oh, I believe that was contact there between the Haas and the Williams into 5 and 4, but still alive and still keep it together on track. With all that fighting, I must say, right, that gap is not, you know, chomping down significantly, shall we say. But let's see what pace have these drivers got to show today. It could be an interesting one, as that Lights is actually closing the gap now, 2.5, 2.4 of a second. So these drivers being held up here is allowing Lights to really close in on this train. And look at Pooch Getting all squiggly again out on turn number 1, but was probably thinking of a move, but just wasn't close enough. And look at Declan challenging around the outside, and I believe the Williams just concealed on that position. Look at the second Williams in the background. Bad boy, I believe that was. Getting a move done on Pooch, and it was unexpected. Caught napping Pooch was there. Hazer as well, getting a move done up into P6. Pooch potentially losing 2 positions in 1 corner, and that may happen. Inside for the Red Bull, outside for Pooch, who actually makes it stick. And Pooch saying, you know what, I'll give up 1 position, but I ain't giving up 2 in 1 corner. Nah, that ain't happening, is what he's saying right now. But he's down in P6, so yeah, Pooch doing what's happening to, you know, doing the same thing as Kingy, shall we say, and going forwards for the first couple of laps, now starting to go backwards. What on earth is, you know, what on earth is going on there? As the gap between second and third is actually starting to open up now. So is the hash starting to show performance, chat? What's going on here? Interesting things cooking here in this race. Let's see if it could be a bit spicy, shall we? Is the hash trying to pull away? As that lights is 1.6 behind. So if I'm going to be honest, going on board with them, they have really drained their battery, but they're on the hards. So those hards on lap number 9 out of lap 36 should start cooking. I don't know why I repeat myself there, chat, but I want to, you know, start cooking. I'll come up with a new memo, a new line for myself to say on the stream. Start cooking, because that totally makes sense, doesn't it? Right then, P5, a 10th off of P4 right now. And Pooch is not far off the back of Bad Boy for P5, so there could be scraps happening in a few moments' time. But look at the Haas, 5 tenths away from Pesh in P3. Haas looking a bit better on its tyres now compared to the mediums, or maybe the Haas is stronger in Sector 2 and Sector 3, but just not quick in the straights, potentially. But we'll see what happens into the closing stages of this race. But as the way it stands, the Haas looking on for a very good result here for a P2 podium, maybe? Depends who's holding back, who's not holding back, doesn't it? Right, Bad Boy. Got on board a Bad Boy. In the suck, you could say, of the Mercedes. Looking to the left, looking to the right, trying to go for a move, but couldn't get a move done there because the Mercedes, excellent blocking. Nothing wrong done there whatsoever, but did the Williams get wing damage? I didn't see anything fly off, but only time will tell. But that's really put him on the back foot now, as Pooch is now joining in on the party. So is Hazer, a 10th off of Pooch. Let's see then. Is there a performance issue for the Williams, or have they still got what it takes and they're still over, you know, still all over the rear wing of the Mercedes? So I'm going to say that they're not got damage whatsoever. But lap number 11 out of 36, it's not looking too bad for some of these drivers. That Alpine is just not looking stable on the exit of turn 1. That's all I'm going to say. Not looking happy. Rear end is, I like to call it, loosey-goosey. As P6 right now has just been taken by Hazer, going wheel to wheel with Pooch. Similar exit, shall we say. Still going to be, I want to say, wheel to wheel. The fake, though, could be get involved in this position as Pooch almost trying to get sideswiped there by the Red Bull, which would have been nasty and may have reserved in bad contact. But look at the Williams and Mercedes now. Bad Boy up into P4 now, getting past Mr. P. Williams 3rd and 4th, not looking too bad. Fake though, unfortunately, couldn't make any moves stick on lap number 11, but we have a look at position gain, as that's the wrong thing to be looking at, but we could have a look at tyres. Oh no, there's position gain. Bad Boy 13 positions gained, Fake 11. And yeah, so some of these drivers not having a bad start to this race, and tyres 11 laps towards lap number 12 we go. So mediums starting to run out potentially, as a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings does go out to Viva, who's down in P16. But let's see here, look at that rusted bolt on the gearbox of the McLaren into turn 3. Couldn't get the move done. Was thinking of it, but just couldn't be, you know, as late on the brakes as Fake was, which was very, very late on the brakes. But Fake now looking for a move on the Alpine. As I've clicked on board with the wrong driver. That's the one we want. We want fake. There he is. There he goes. Checks out. Up to P7. Pooch now down to P8. So Pooch was struggling with tyre wear. I don't think he's carrying any sort of damage. That front wing does look fine. But if he is carrying damage, that's very unfortunate. Hopefully he's not though. Right. Let's see here. Hassan P3. P2 Pesh. Let me swap here once again, maybe. I'm now seeing Jack with 3-second time penalty. They're currently chilling in P10. So not fantastic stuff for them there. As, you know, 3 seconds. They can make their way up the grid order with pace if they got it, but that could mean losing a position too. But look at that, a late dive by the Haas. Was that a bit late though? We'll have to see and find out. Maybe the students have a look at that one, maybe potentially. And in doing so, Haas losing out on a position, and it's a Williams 2 and 3 right now. So the way the tables turn with the Haas making a last minute dive bomb decision, hopefully it wasn't anything too nasty for the shooters to go, you know what, please can we have your POV, because if they get your POV you could be in trouble. So hopefully they don't ask for that one, but we'll see towards the end of this race. Still a fair bit to go though. The Haas demoted to P4, losing a position to Bad Boy with that, you know, undeciding decision that he was thinking. But you know, Williams second and third, not too bad, but those mediums are starting to really die off now, as that Mercedes in P1 has started to pull the trigger and maybe thinking of boxing very, very shortly maybe. And look at the Haas once again, just thinking about a move against the Williams, but in doing so has put himself offline completely, and that's a Mercedes up into P4. Could Hazer be thinking the same thing, or could Fake be thinking the same thing? Switching to the outside line, the Red Bull will now have the inside line. McLaren versus Red Bull. McLaren on top, up into P6 now. Fake goes, and next on his hit list is Declan, who I didn't realise has a 3-second time penalty. A 3-second time penalty go out to Declan for track limits, and Mr. P as well for track limits. What is going on as he's dived into the pit lane, trying to catch on board? There he is. Medium tyres are done to a set of the hard compounded tyre now. Same with Rusty Bolt, Pooch, Merc, King OG, and many more drivers. There's Bam as well. A 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings on track. What on earth is going on this evening with drivers getting penalties left, right and centre? Now, cold, fresh, hard tyres for Mr. P. Is he going for an undercut attempt? Potentially. Let's see what he can do, because Declan can also, you know, how do I say this, extend on their pit stop. It's probably too early for them to box yet, because they've boxed now. Their mediums probably wouldn't exist to the end of this race, shall I say. So let's see what he does here. Does look like he's going to stay out. The Bad Boy will go into the pits, and Pesh will stay out another lap. Interesting call there from Williams, as Pesh was ahead at the starting grid. So in my favour, I would have boxed Pesh first, then Bad Boy. But we'll see! Oh! Oh no! That's big blow there on turn 1. The Haas losing the car completely and having a half snap spin. Declan demoted to P6. That's most surely going to work into the Mercedes hand now, as the Mercedes does get ahead of Bad Boy, but only just gets ahead of Bad Boy, who's in P9 on a cold set of the hard tyres. Mr. P under pressure from Pooch, who actually gets past Mr. P for P7, so not too bad there. But oh, that is so big blow there for the Haas of Declan. Oh wow. Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. Having a really good, stunning race, and then losing the back end completely out of turn 1. Like I say, you get it all wrong out of turn 1. That is your race pretty much done and dusted. Right, Fake into the pits now, followed by Pesh, who is also peeling into the pit lane. And your race leader, Math, still stays out on those old, worn, medium compounded tyres. So, could Math be in threat of a undercut from any of the drivers here? But there's Mr. P out of turn 1, and actually does as well get ahead of Pesh, who's exiting the pit lane in at P10. Oh, a bit of lag there. I think it was from Pooch. And Mr. P up into P4. And let's say with Bad Boy trying to get up into P5 against Pooch. And Pooch trying to fight this one back, but just doesn't have the raw pace or the straight line speed to do so. Look at the Williams, a double move actually into 5 and 4. Incredible. It's insane. Bad Boy up to P4 now. That was fantastic. Right. Race leader is now into the pit lane. There's Bad Boy. Race leader has just been served. To be honest, they're going to be comfortably ahead as Bad Boy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So, as the way it stands, if Pooch keeps it all together in P6, easy podium. That's what I'm going to say. Easy podium. Right. Math. Bad Boy is 2.7 away from gaining with the Mercedes in P3, but the Mercedes, with the pace, with the raw pace it has, no chance. I'm going to say. No chance in a million years could they catch. It just depends on the pace they got, but Declan, I'm not too sure what he's going to do here. Wait for a safety car, not wait for a safety car. At the moment, he'll be feeling a lot of frustration in that car right now. And I mean, a lot of frustration with Bam also picking up a 3-second time penalty. Who's got the most penalties this race? 12 seconds to Bam. So Bam is leading the way in the penalties list, we could say. As oh, look, I moved that turn 1. But Mr. P does go off track there. So was there space given? But a good sportsmanship there from Pooch does return the position to Mr. P. And will actually not look for a move there into turn 3. But very good sportsmanship there. Very happy. You gotta be honest too, chat. You don't normally see that, okay? That is a rare thing to see. Sportsmanship. So yeah. Nice to see. Right then. Your top 2, Lights and Declan, yet to box. But Declan could be punching himself in the foot here. Because the mistake he made out of turn 1 lost him a lot of time, and he is now boxing onto a fresh set of the mediums. We're going to see what kind of pace he's got, but where will he filter out? That's the main question. He could filter out right behind the McLaren and the Kicksauber and the Ferrari, which he will not want. So see, it's going to be tight on exit, as we've got McLaren and Kingy, you could say, Filthy Ghost wheel to wheel, but I'm not able to get the move done. And yeah, look how much that has affected Declan with that snap. E14 after starting P2 in this race, and Mr. P really falling down the order there. Oh my goodness, we're 3 wide. We're 3 at Brest. Out of turn 5. What on earth did I miss there? But god damn, all drivers surviving that one. Trust was key there. Trust on all. Lights now into the pits. Where are they going to filter out this race? Let's see. Medium compound tyres to that Vija Cash App. Might actually be ahead here, Jack. who's in P10. And it looks like it's going to be the same as last time, chat. Lights in P9. I've got a 3.3 gap to chase down. Can they do it on the medium tyres? Most certainly, due to how much pace they got. They keep it nice and clean. Going for a nice podium here, potentially. They've got to get past a few drivers first before they make that podium chance, though. There's the fake around the outside then of the Mercedes. Petronas. Mercedes still there, but McLaren swoops to cover his line, defend his position as we go into turn 6 and 7. So, not looking too bad for fighting and pace-wise. I get the feeling that Pooch is going to make a move here, and he is looking to the right hand side towards turn 1, but does back out as he doesn't want to force Mr. P off track again. But look at that, thinking smart, thinking very, very smart. Was thinking smart, but just didn't have the straight line speed to the Mercedes, and oh, low on the battery there, almost into the back of the Mercedes in P4, but does keep the car under control. Yellow flags waving in the background. That is going to be Angry Badger down in P17 now. And I thought they had crashed in the pit entrance, but luckily they have got their car moving on all 4 tyres, which we love to see, of course. Right then. What's going on? Not much. Is a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings going to Angry Badger. Driver in P17 also getting a penalty. Lots of penalties here this evening. Probably the most penalties I've seen in Tier 1 this season so far. So maybe Austria is going to be a track to forget about for some of these drivers. You know, it could be one of those seasons back in, I think it was 2023 or 2024 as well. The track limit violations with warnings of how many times drivers in real life were exceeding track limits is absolutely was crazy. So maybe we're seeing a repeat of history here. I wouldn't be surprised. But lights, though, showing some tremendous pace on those mediums, though, in P9. 1.1 away. Has really closed up that gap significantly. And, yeah, he does deserve a podium here tonight. Potentially as well. Driver of the day. You know, P18, I expected a top 10, and he's giving us a top 10. The fight of his life for a top 10 right now. Could be a fight of his life for a podium position. It depends how quickly he can make his way through the grid order and then try and close down 2.8 seconds of a gap. Oh, almost messing it up there and losing the back end of the car, or the front end of the car, shall we say. That was scary. That was definitely a loosey-goosey moment. And a loosey-goosey moment there out of turn 1. I'm going to try my best not to curse him, chat, okay? That's what we're going to do. No cursing here today. Bit of a bargy contact there, maybe. Ever so slightly, bit of contact. And now lights us up at a P8. 3.4 is the gap. He has DRS compared to the Williams. The Williams will concede into 4 and 5. And now lights will try and leap on to the rear wing of this train for a potential P2. But first, he's got to get past Hazer, Pooch, and then he's in a podium position. So let's see. Are those medium compounded tyres that are 3 laps old compared to 10 laps for the drivers in front of him? 4 laps now on those mediums. Are they starting to die off? Well, the big question. Only time will tell. But are Pesh and Lights going to work together here? I get the feeling they are, as P5 and P4 having a scrap now as Koff gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings down in P number 15. Look at this, the Mercedes on the inside, Pooch on the outside. The outside line It's just a better line of where you want to be for grip wise and level pace wise. So there we go. There we go. Right. Preston Bolt as well. Teammates with lights this season. Up into P7. We could gain an extra position here. But will Team Orders make its way into play? And will Rusted Bolt make way for Lights, who's on the newer tyres, compared to him on the old, wary, hard compound tyre? Lap 26 out of 36, and there's moves happening at the front of the field once again. P3 and P2 switching drastically, and that was Fake losing 2 positions in 1 corner, and now Bad Boy up to P2, and where's Pooch going to go? Inside line, not too late on the brakes, lovely stuff there. The Mercedes up into P4, Fake down to P5 for now, but with the way penalties are going, could be going backwards even more. But with all this fighting and commotion going on, that's allowing the Mercedes to run away in P1, but it's also inviting Lights 1.8 away now, and Pesh as well, into that fight for some extra juicy scoring opportunity points. Let's see what happens here then. Round number 2. And the Mercedes thinking of which way they want to go and play this smartly, and contact there between the Alpine and the Williams. Luckily no one there getting front wing damage, and look at this. Spicy battle brewing on here. Visa doing what they can to defend their position as Pesh got a 3-second time penalty. And, oh my goodness, a 3 wide up ahead. There's yellow flag. Someone's round. Who is it? It's Bad Boy. One of the Williams drivers has been potentially, I want to say, punted round. And, yeah, that's not a good thing for them. They got big damage, though. They look okay. But has anyone come off worse off that contact? That's the thing we need to know. There's that Pooch locking on the rear wing of that Mercedes. You know, it's getting a bit, oh my goodness, spicy. McLaren is in 2 positions in 1 corner. Mercedes are up at the P2 as the Mercedes 1-2, but they won't be keeping position as look at the Pooch again into turn 4 and 5. Oh, that is scary stuff there, chat. That's what I'm going to say. Absolutely scary stuff. But they're all alive for now as look there, Rusted Bolt defending from Hazer for that P5. This could be a really good day for RB. That's all I'm going to say. A good day for RB. 1 in P5, 1 in P7. Actually, never mind. Lights. A 3-second time penalty. No. Lights is having such a good race. Oh dear, oh dear. It's okay. Still got almost 6 laps remaining as we see the Alpine of the Pooch going against the McLaren, and they're all going to start fighting once again. Here we go. Round number 2. Braking early into 4 and 5. Mercedes behind in this as well in P4. Mr. P not looking for a crazy move yet, but I must say, Rusted Bolt looks like he wants to get on here. Angry Badger once again a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. 6 laps to go. The end of this spicy Austrian GP out of turn 1 now. McLaren versus Alpine versus Mercedes. Maybe a cash app. Let's see what happens. Pace difference. Here we go. Oh, okay, that was early. And look at the Vija cash app and Rusted Bolt down the inside, but can't get the momentum or exit that they need. And then the McLaren will defend the position for P4. But that was, oh, look at lights down the inside. Is there was contact. There is contact, or I don't think there was contact. I think lights lost the rear end there. And Rusted Bolt goes on through, and lights now defending for his life against Pesh and does go wide, almost off track. Takes a trip to the gravel there, shall we say. And once again, oh, was that a penalty? 6 seconds to his name now. Oh dear, oh dear. His race went from good to worse in seconds. That's all it took. One blow, and it's all over. And that is what happened. His teammate, Rusted Bolt, though, is in a good position here. As Bad Boy retires from the session, our third DNF of this race. Just thought, you know what? Enough is enough. Calling it a day. Is what he was probably thinking. Which is a bit sad, but it is what it is. We've got more yellow flags now, and it is going to be his AI make it his way on the track. So hopefully it doesn't cause too much commotion and drama. But now that is very unfortunate there. Very unfortunate there, and yeah, he definitely not great. Right. Anyways, fake a 3-second time penalty. That's gonna be 6 seconds from now, isn't it? It is. Oh, they're in even more danger. They are literally crumbling. After starting at the back of the grid, bear in mind they still score points, and oh my goodness, look at the overspeed the McLaren's got on the grass as well. Holy moly. Oh, that was scary as Bam gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But like I was saying, as we got crazily interrupted there, but it was what we wanted to see, drama and very scary close racing. But yes, the McLaren was starting at the back of the grid, but in all fairness, starting at the back of the grid, right? Making your way through the order up into P4, but a 6-second time penalty is really going to hinder your race. And I mean, absolutely hinder it. As we see the Alpine slotted to P2. Look at the cash app. Look at the cash app. What's the cash app going to do here? Always go for the move on the Alpine. No, wheel to wheel down to turn 3. Medium versus old hard compound tyres. And does he get the move done, actually? Yellow flags. That is Angry Badger. Going very, very slowly. And the cash app's going to keep his nose in. He's going to try and keep it clean. Still there. Still there. Inside line now for the Vija cash app. Contact. Rusted Bolt almost losing the car there. Still wheel to wheel with the Alpine. Racing for that P4. You don't want these two fighting too hard because there's no need to. More there is, because there's a second position up for grabs and a third position up for grabs, you know? Both being able to be on the top spot, but they've got to fight technically. So I am technically wrong. They want to fight for that as much as they can because, you know, one of them wants that P2, one of them wants that P3. Who's going to get it, you know? That's the big question. Into turn 1. Hit the curb nicely, as they do there. Making their way down to turn 3 now. All within a second. So not much to say about that one. Mr. P back into P2. And trying ever so hard to defend his position. What can he do, though? as they make their way down to turn number 4 and 5. Oh, that's not what you want. They getting it all wrong out of turn number 6, it seemed, or 5, sorry, and into 6 now. But yeah, he looked really, really slow coming out of that corner. Lap 34, though, out of 35. This is going to be a crazy 2-lap race now. As the Mercedes in P1 all start lap 35. He will start his penultimate lap of this race, and so will Mr. P, Fake, Pooch, Light, Pesh, Rusted Bolt, Hazer, Jack, and everybody else on circuit. Penultimate lap of this race. Let's see what happens here. It's going to get spicy. It's going to get chaotic. It could get dirty. Hopefully not as Lights. Slam, dunk, 3-second time penalty. It's now 9 seconds to his name. That's game over for his race. Look, 3 wide. Oh, 3 wide. I turned 3. And I don't know if he kept it all clean. I think they did okay. Just okay, though. I'm hearing contact in the background. Not likey. Not likey. The Mercedes in P3. Fake in P2. And Rusted Bolt losing out to, it looks like, I believe that is his teammate. Losing out to his teammate. Down in P7 now. Still on for a good result here, though. He doesn't need to stress too much. But final lap of this race. Let's see. It's scary times now. Let's see what happens here. Fake trying to run away. Mr. P trying to home in. What's it going to be? And there goes Pooch. Mr. P doing some defending now. There's Pooch. Mr. P late on the brakes. Is it too late, though? Not too late at all, but does have a scary exit there. And that could allow Pooch and P4 to make a pounce. That could allow Pesh to make a pounce. Rusted Bolt. Oh, Lights on the inside. Gets to be done. Oh! Pooch is hit round by the Mercedes. Or was that Pooch's fault? Or was that Mercedes' fault? Stewards are going to be busy tonight. But is Pooch close enough to go for a penalty? You could say Fake has checked out completely. He is gone in the horizon. But we go on board with our race winner. Dominant victory. Nothing to really say, but dominant. Fake in P2, but where will he finish? Regardless of the gaggle of cars behind. Lights in P3, but where will he finish? Down to P8. Fake to P7. Rusted Bolt promoted to P2. Hazer promoted to P3. Pooch P4. Did Pooch get a penalty? I'm not too sure. But we'll see what happened there. Maybe he just has to Hazer towards the end of the race. But Mr. P. Then P5. P6 Pesh. P7 Fake. P8 Lights. P9 Jack. And P10 Filthy Ghost. Declan, after having such a great start of the race and qualifying in P2, sophomore P3, then P4, had a horrible exit out of turn 1 in the race, and that pretty much did him, which is quite sad, but it is what it is. It is what it is. What else could I really say? Great victory for Math, potentially extending their championship lead. And then Rusted Bolt on P2, Hazer P3, Pooch P4, Mr. P P5, Pesh P6, Fake P7, Lights P8, Jack P9, and like I said, Filthy Ghost P10. And looking into the remainder, we saw Declan towards the end of the race, probably not happy right now, which I can understand his emotions. EOG P12, Merc P13, Croft P14, Bam P15, Angry Badger P16, Bad Boy P17 retiring from this race. Viva P18 also retiring, and Iceman as well retiring from this race. Chat, that has been me, Mr. Flynn, done and dusted for this evening for tier number 1 here at the Circuit of Austria. We head back to the calendar now to discuss that round 5 is done and dusted. We could tick it off our list. Next week we go to Canada for round number 6 on November 18th. So, as I say, make sure to stay tuned for that one, because that's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of enjoyment. More racing, though, throughout the week. Obviously, we do have Tier 2 happening tomorrow at 8 o'clock UK time, racing at the lovely circuit of Miami. And I must be saying, I've been doing some practice. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race for me tomorrow, so we'll see how I get on. It could be a bit of fun, could be a bit of drama, but we'll see. Maybe my main goal will just be survive, but we'll see. Right then. And then round number 5 for, I believe it's Tier 3, is Mexico. Not raced at Mexico yet on this game, but Tier 3 getting the wonderful delight on the Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock as well. And then the 100% tier on the Friday. And then on the Saturday, you have the, what was it? Inner tier. There you go. But that is everything done and dusted for this evening. I'm going to log off because I'm absolutely shattered from some crazy racing. And my voice box is absolutely dying. And Chatteroo, as always, I will catch you all in the next one. Stay safe and peace.